Hi, Kevin. Good morning.
Good morning,
And
Jeando.
yes, and good morning to, good day to everybody that is going to listen to this introductory session. We've discussed conscious guidance and control, of course, in a theoretical way, and we've come to the point that was necessary for people to understand what is conscious guidance and control in practice, to have a go at a little lesson where I am going to play the part of the teacher, and you, of course, are going to play the part, and I thank you for that, of the pupil. The first thing I must say is that, of course, you're not a new pupil. First of all, I'm not, I hope you don't mind me saying that you're trained as a modern Alexander teacher for 3 years. And also you had roughly 10 lessons with me already. Now, this is a lesson of conscious guidance and control, and you will notice that I am not using the term Alexander technique. It is a lesson inspired by the books of written by Mr. Alexander. And I translated these books as part of my own training to become a touch teacher, a modern Alexander teacher. I was a modern Alexander teacher to start with. And after a few years, I realized that there were theoretical problems in using hands. So I stopped using hands. And I really started to be inspired by the work of a Frenchman called François Delsarte. And the reason for that is very simple. It's because when Alexander started to give lessons in 1896 on his business cards, he mentioned that he was a teacher of the Delsarte system, which was quite strange. I never heard of Delsarte before during my training, and so I inquired in it. And so this way of teaching is not at all new to me. It's not because of the COVID-19 that I teach online. I've been teaching online for years. And when I teach online, the version, if you want, of the Alexander technique I'm teaching is inspired by the books, both of Alexander and Delsarte. And in the Delsarte system, there was this method of instruction. And it's interesting to go back to this text written by Delsarte in 1850, where he said that the student, during the lesson, is taught the principle of the art, the instruments and elements are named, the problems are set, and the student is required to experiment for himself under the eyes and ear of the teacher. Is then shown wherein he fails or succeeds. He adds, only as the individual reason is reached can the instruction be made effective. And each teacher, as well as student, will sooner or later find how farcical, without supplementary practice given to the individual, is the attempt to treat large classes. I wanted to start with it to show that there is a fundamental problem in giving lesson, and this problem has been pinpointed by Alexander, and it is the problem of faulty sensory appreciation, the basis of our judgment of what is right, what coordination is right, and also, of course, our judgment of how to translate an instruction of movement. So we are faced with this all the time, the fact that our sensory appreciation is not accurate and leads to conceptions that are really delusions about simple facts that relate to the coordination of the different parts of the anatomical structure. So in the Delsarte system, when we say the elements are named, Well, there are different elements in the anatomical structure, but also we are going to use different principles and physical element. For example, behind you, there is a ruler. So Kevin, would you take one ruler in your left hand? That's it. So you have a ruler in your left hand. It's just a straight piece of wood. And I need to explain how Delsart presented faulty sensory appreciation. And for example, if you want to have an idea of elements and the standard of judgment, the criterion of our judgment that we use, you will find that in the Delsart system, he needed a particular language in order to bypass the problem of faulty sensory appreciation. That principle is to use a special language. It's called the language of motion. And for us, we will just term it geometry. So the first element of geometry is the spot. So using the ruler that is in your left hand, could you please turn your right palm toward the screen? That's it. So we see the palm, and the palm is a word that is in fact an abstraction. There is nothing like the part. If you wanted to present the part, you'll have to cut the fingers and to cut the forearm, because it's, of course, a whole. And we are pointing to a specific part of that whole. Yes? And if you look closely, you will find that there is a line that separates the forearm from the palm. Could you point with the tip of your ruler to the line that separates the palm from the forearm? Yes. So you've been able to use the instruction I've given you to notice something on the anatomical structure. And now, can you please calculate where is the center of the line that separates the palm from the forearm? That's it. So that's one element. We have one element, and that element, we give it a name, because I prefer if you don't touch anymore the spot, because I'm not interested in you having a feeling of that spot. I'm interested in you having a very reasoned definition of that spot. So the very reasoned definition of that spot is, we call base of the palm the spot that separates, is the middle of the line that separates the forearm from the palm. With this definition, so now you can set your hand on your thigh. I want just you to tell me yes or no. Can you think of a line that separates the index finger from the palm?
Yes.
Okay. Can you calculate roughly the middle of that line?
Yes.
Okay, so we have now two spots. We have the middle of the palm, well, the base of the palm, and the base of the index finger. We can do the same thing with, for example, the base of the little finger. The base of the little finger is the spot that is the middle of the line that separates the finger, the little one, from the palm. And we can use these instructions now. And we can, in fact, implement the language of geometry. As for example, we can decide of creating a line between the base of the little finger and the base of the index finger. Yes? And so you can decide from then to create a movement. And for example, you can shorten the line between the little finger, the base of the little finger, and the base of the index finger. Okay, you can choose to extend that line. And in the same way, we can create a line between the base of the thumb and the base of the index finger. Okay. If I say to you, please, could you extend the line between the base of the thumb and the base of the index finger of the right hand. Do you think you can create a movement out of that?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, I want you to start counting when you are going to begin to lengthen the line between the base of the thumb and the base of the index finger, and count 1, 2, 3, so that in 2 seconds you're going to have, finished the lengthening of the line between the base of the thumb and the base of the index finger.
Will I hold my palm up first?
No?
Okay. So I show my palms to camera?
No, your palm is where it is, and you're just deciding that you're going to comply with the commands. You're going to command yourself to create a movement between the base of the thumb and the base of the index finger, wherever they are for the moment, wherever the position of the hand. And in 2 seconds, I want you to implement that command.
1, 2, 3.
Okay. Now I want you to keep the hand in exactly the same shape as the movement I've made the hand assume, okay? And I want you to present the hand to the screen, to the camera, sorry. Yes. We see that there is a definite geometry between the index and the thumb. And if you look at it, you will find that it's maybe possible to extend more. Yes, now that you're looking at it, you will have a different understanding of your capacity of extending the line. So to make it quick, just please give us another go at implementing the command. I pull the base of the thumb away from the base of the index finger, keeping your hand here facing the camera, looking at it.
1, 2, 3.
Yes? Well, there is a difference, a marked difference now, isn't it? We are close to a geometrical form that we call the right angle, when before we were not. The difference in the two attempts is that I've set a problem in front of you, and first of all, you solved it according to, well, what you felt was the time to stop the 3. This time it was different. I think that you assume that you could extend more than the first time. Yes, this is the first idea of what we call a faulty sensory appreciation, because it's a very different thing to feel something you don't see and to start to use a graphical representation. Now, could you, with the tip of the ruler, touch the tip of the right elbow? Yes. We make sense of the word tip of the right elbow. It's the bone that is furthest away from the shoulder, and that pertains to the upper arm. And now I want you to combine 2 instructions. Could you please stay a second? I want to be quick. I want you to listen to these commands and see if you can give these commands to yourself and then perform these commands. So the first part is giving the instructions. I'm going to give the instruction one after the other. And the second part is you, when you've got all the intentions of movement into your mind, you have to project them all together. So I want you to pull the base of the thumb away from the base of the index finger. You know that already. But while you're doing this, I want you to command another movement. I want you to pull the base of the little finger toward the base, the tip of the elbow. Do you think that is possible?
Yes.
There are many different ways to do it. You could do it by, in fact, inclining the palm toward the screen, isn't it? But it's not the way I'm interested in. I'm interested that your thumb and palm stay exactly in the same plane. Yes? So you'll have to have a rotation of the hand around the base of the palm. Do you understand the movement I have in mind?
Yes.
Okay, let's check. Do you want me to repeat the instructions, or is that fine?
This is fine. 1, 2, 3.
Yes. Okay, and so is it possible, you think, to pull the base of the thumb away from the base from the tip of the elbow while you pull the base of the index finger, of the little finger, sorry, toward the tip of the elbow?
Can you repeat the instruction, please? The question, please.
Yes, I will repeat. Do you think it's possible to pull the base of the thumb away from the tip of the elbow and to pull the base of the little finger toward the tip of the elbow?
Yes.
Will it not make a rotation much greater around the base of the palm?
Yes.
Okay, give me a 3. I want to see it.
1, 2, 3.
Yes, that's correct. While you did this movement, I had the impression that the base of the thumb went toward the base of the index finger.
Yes.
Yes, the instructions was I pull the base of the thumb away from the base of the index finger, and I pull the base of little finger toward the tip of the elbow, isn't it?
I'm not sure. I think you said the other one, but I might be wrong.
No, because the other one was I pull the base of the thumb away from the tip of the elbow. Yes? Do you think you can pull the base of the thumb away from the tip of the elbow at the same time as you pull the base of the thumb away from the base of the index finger?
Yes.
Well, if that's the case, I want you to combine all the instructions and give me another 3.
1, 2, 3.
Yes. While you were pulling the base of the thumb away from the base of the index finger, the base of little finger has gone away from the tip of the elbow, isn't it?
Yes.
So we are interested here in, you can place your hand on your thigh. I just wanted to show a quick demonstration that as soon as you start to coordinate movements, of course, the cognitive load, by that I mean how much you need to remember, how much you need to collect together and in fact perform all together augments, of course. But at the same time, the feeling we have of what we need to do starts to interfere with the production of the movement. And that is a big part of the problem of trying to give lessons of coordination through conscious guidance or through contact with the hands. When the teacher is putting hands, is not using conscious guidance, of course, because the pupil is feeling the effect of the instruction, but still the problem remains the same. So that was a first problem. And the second problem was, in fact, brought to me by Delsart's explanation of faulty sensory appreciation. So now I want you to make a tool between the index and the thumb of the right hand so that you can catch something in between your index and thumb. Yes, I want to present the tool just in front of you, please. Could you show us your right hand?
1, 2, 3.
Yes, that's nice. So you can now insert the tip of the sword, the tip of the ruler, in between the index and thumb without changing anything. That's it. And I want you to let go of the ruler. No, not with this hand, with the left one, between the thumb and index finger. Yes, and then let go of the handle of the ruler. Okay. Are you really holding the ruler between the index and thumb? No. I want you to hold the ruler only between the index and thumb. I don't want the other fingers. Yes, that's it. Yes. Okay. I need to ask you a question. Do you know the position of rest of the structure you have constructed now?
No.
No, you don't. Yes, because at the moment you're holding the ruler in such a way that you are making some effort with your hand. So I will tell you, I'm certain, in fact, that you know the position of rest of a pendulum, because you're holding the ruler now as a pendulum. What is the position of rest of a pendulum? Oh, yes, you know. Oh, sorry, I was not clear enough. I understand the mistake now. The mistake is mine. Sorry. I should have been more precise. The tool I wanted you to create was with the tip of the thumb and the tip of the index finger. And that mistake is very interesting because it shows that the teacher that has made the mistake here has made a mistake because his instructions were not precise enough. So please, let's do it again. I want you to make a tool between the tip of the thumb and the tip of the index finger of the right hand. And when that is done, I want you to, in fact, place the tip of the ruler inside, yes, that tool, and then release the ruler with the left hand. That's it. And so we see what we call a pendulum. A pendulum is any solid structure that is suspended by its top. Yes? And nobody would, well, certainly challenge this idea that rest as a geometrical representation, a graphical representation. So this is the second element that Delsarte used, because these rulers, of course, are not part of the traditional method of instruction in the modern Alexander technique. Well, it was not part at all of Alexander's. Alexander has never been reported to use rulers. Delsarte, of course, was using rulers. He was using spots, lines. Lines were defined by rulers, and he was also using walls. So in front of you, there is a wall, yes? And now you can change your grasp, and you can take the ruler as if it was a sword with your right hand. That's it. So now I say as if it was a sword because we want a very definite grip on that object. We want one extremity to be called the tip. The other one we are going to call it the pommel. And well, of course, the ruler himself is the blade. And so you can touch the wall that is in front of you. It's a 2D surface. And with a ruler, we can, in fact, start to control accurately what are the movements and what are the criteria we are using for movements when we talk of the human structure. So just for a second, I would like you to measure the distance between the instep, the front of the ankle, and the wall. And in order to do that, what I want you to do is very simple. I want you to direct the tip of the sword to the front of the ankle. So could you direct and touch the front of the ankle with the tip of the ruler? That's it. Okay. So we see that you're going to measure first the distance between the left ankle and the wall. And then, well, you just need to bring the other end, what I call the pommel, to be touching the wall horizontally. Oh, you know, what has happened is that you've changed your grip. Because the ruler was in your, yes, the ruler was in your right hand. That's it. And now, could you please, you will understand why I am intent on having you command very precisely the movements and not change in the middle, so that you continue with the same idea. So could you please now set the ruler horizontal so that we are sure that the front of the ankle is at a wall distance. So is it too far?
Too far.
Yes, take it off, please. We have controlled the distance from the instep to the wall. And we have discovered that, of course, there was a discrepancy. What we intend is to have the instep at the ruler distance from the wall, and, well, it's not enough. So did you have time to view with your own eyes the distance between the pommel of the ruler and the wall?
Yes.
Yes, I want you to try and make an adjustment. What we call an adjustment is the movement of one part of the anatomical structure. I want you to make an adjustment so that you will, in fact, see if you can, in one gesture, have the instep at the ruler distance from the wall. Okay, that's it. I want you to take the ruler off. So two things have happened. The first is that you've made a gesture, which is a movement of the instep, but I say a gesture because in order to make the movement of the instep, I have seen the whole structure move in space. And so you have gone in the right direction, which is that you've made the distance between the wall and the instep shorter. But the second thing that happened is that quickly, without me asking anything, you went and in fact controlled the distance. So it's very important that people understand that there is a difference between what we call guidance, which is a decision to create movements of adjustment, and what we call control. Control is a separate phase here. Here we are using a very simple system. We want the instep to be at a distance of a ruler, or the ruler distance is going to be our aim. And we saw that when you control, it was impossible to set the ruler horizontal, which means that the distance you adjusted was too long. Yes? It's fine. It's just, well, now you have to create another adjustment in order, and people will say, but this is going to take ages. Well, if you know this type of work, you will understand that rather quickly. The person is going to be able to direct the different parts, well, according to the distance they set. Could you please make another experiment of adjustment? That's it. So, and now you're very clever because you resisted the urge to go and check. Yes? And so, yes, please, could you now please measure the distance between the instep and the wall? Wow. Sorry, how much?
It's slightly too close.
Slightly, very slightly. And for the experiment, that's fine. We are going to be happy with that. I want you to take the ruler off. And again, I want you to try and see, just by looking at your 2 feet, do you think that the right instep is at a ruler distance from the wall?
No.
Okay, so can you judge visually how much you need to go forward?
Okay.
Okay, now I want you to make the adjustment. You can look at your foot if you want, that's it. Yes. You will notice when you watch the video, the difference in movement in the upper torso. When you did the adjustment without looking, and this time you did the adjustment by looking, and you will find that there is a sharp difference in acceleration in the one that were not supported by with your eyes. Okay, I will consider for the moment that the adjustment is fine, is correct for the purpose. We don't need something absolutely exact. Yes, so please, I just want you to stand for a second. That's it. Okay, so there are a few spots we have already defined. We have defined the base of the palm. Do you remember the base of the palm?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, you don't need to point or to show me or to touch anything. For example, it would be more interesting for you to give me a definition of the base of the palm.
The base of the palm is the line that separates, the middle of the line that separates palm from the forearm.
Yes, so easy, you see. You also remember the tip of the elbow.
The tip of the elbow is the furthest out part of the elbow when,
yes.
When your arm is directed forward.
Okay. I want you to try something. Do you think it's possible for you, even if the ruler is in your right arm, to in fact bring the fingers or the tip of the index finger to touch the left tip of the elbow? Yes. Okay. Okay. Could you let the left arm go, please? Let the arm go. Let the arm rest on the side. That's nice. I want you, please, to try another thing. I want you to touch the tip of the left elbow with the. I want you to touch the left elbow, the tip of the left elbow, with the tip of the right index finger going in front of it. Yes, that's it. Fine. Good. Would you say that your shoulders are at rest?
No, I'm holding them slightly.
Could you stop holding them? That's nice. Okay. So that was Delsart problem with faulty sensory appreciation. I will explain. Delsart said there is not, it's not possible to have two definitions for the same word. For example, I have a definition of rest, and we saw Delsart's definition of rest. He said the pendulum rests when it's set at a particular geometry, which is the vertical. And at the moment, if you look, you will find that in standing, when you stand, your base of the palm is very far forward of the axis of your arm. So you see, when we look at you in the accepted way, which is that you're in fact seen in the sagittal view. We see the side of you. Yes, Alexander always stood first, looking at the person exactly as we are looking at you now. And what we see is that, and what Delsart would see, is that your arm and shoulder, which is attached to the neck by very powerful muscle, is set at an angle. And so if you remember what you were doing with the ruler, when I asked you to hold the tip of the ruler with the index, the tip of the index and the tip of the thumb, you will notice that your arm cannot be, or your shoulder cannot be at rest. There must be some force applied in order for, of course, the arm to stay in the position it's in at the moment. So that's why was one thing that Delsart discovered. He needed principle and the principle of geometry. In fact, to give him he said a criterion of judgment of what is a correct coordination. For example, what is a correct coordination of the shoulder and neck? Well, it cannot be an arm that is falling forward at its extremity. Yes? So that was one problem, and he decided that it was necessary for him to learn to stand with a vertical arm. And he tried by pulling the base of the palm backward, and he tried, and he discovered that when he pulled the base of the palm backward, curiously, the tip of the elbow was going backward with it. Yes? And he found that this made the problem only worse, that as the tip of the elbow was going back, the shoulder was going back, and so the arm was never vertical. He found that it was necessary to apply a series of movements at the same time to get the correct coordination. One movement was never enough. And that was the second problem with sensory appreciation, because we can feel one movement maybe, but to feel three at the same time going in opposite direction is like impossible. Yes? So now with the ruler, there is something we can do. I want you please to place the ruler horizontally on the frontal part of your torso. That's it. It's horizontally on the frontal part of the torso. And if you suck your belly in completely, and look down, you will find that your ribs are showing. And it's possible with the ruler to find the two spots where the ribs are changing direction. In front of your torso, if we are seeing you from the front, there is the sternum bone, and a few ribs, 6 ribs are attached directly to it, but there are other ribs, 6 more, that are not attached to directly or closely to the sternum. They are much lower, and they are attached by long cartilages. So can you place the ruler so that you're touching the place where we find what we call the anterior protuberance of the 8th rib? Yes, it's slightly higher. That's it. Okay? And so when you're standing now, we have a new reference. We see that in standing, you're used to a geometry where the middle of the torso is forward of the tip of the elbow. And that has some interest because Alexander is talking of a poorly known test of coordination. And he says the correct coordination is when the tip of the elbow is outward and the thumb inward. And it's necessary to define the word inward and outward. So let's define outward. The line that you have created between the extremity of the 8th rib, yes, is represented by a ruler. Has this line a center?
Yes.
Yes. Well, of course, it is in between the two extremities of the ribs. Yes. So it's possible to imagine a line and a movement on that line going from the center away from it along the ruler. Yes. And the way you're filmed at the moment, if you were to continue that line in the direction of the left, you would be moving outwards directly toward the camera. Okay? Well, inward is in fact defined on the same line, but going toward the center. So when we say the tip of the elbow is going outward, well, we say 2 things. We say, one, that we want the tip of the elbow to be directed outward, but also we want to remember the plane of the line of the ribs. And we think, do you think it would be possible to have the tip of the elbow further forward on the line of the ribs? It's just a question. I don't want you to move.
Yes.
Okay. Don't you think that that would make the base of the palm move forward?
Not if I move from the upper arm and the shoulders.
Oh, yes, that's clever. Yes, that's the idea. That's what Delsart discovered. The primary control of the movement of the arm are, in fact, the coordination of the movement of the primary joint, which he calls the centric joint, and we call it the torso. So, of course, the position of the arm cannot be changed if you do not change the relationship between the middle of the torso and the top of the torso. So please, could you hold the ruler now like a sword with your right hand? That's it. And I want you to see if you can place the tip of the ruler on that rib extremity you have found in pulling the belly back. Yes, could you place the tip of the ruler on the front of the 8th rib on your left side? Are you there? Okay. Now what I want you to do, I want you to measure the distance from the ribs to the wall. Oh, it's too close. It's too short, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, it means that you're leaning forward somehow. I want you to take the ruler off and see if you can change that distance, readjust the distance of the rib to the wall, and set it at exactly the same distance you've established for the instep and the wall. Just a question, are you going to fall back?
No.
Well, we don't really know that, so I want to make sure that you are not going to fall back, so that I'm going to give you a second instruction of adjustment and maybe a third. So I'm going to ask you, of course, to readjust the distance between the rib 8 and the wall, so that you have to go away from the wall, yes? But at the same time, I would want you to have the base of the palm directed back. You know, everybody, all persons that have a fear of falling backward, of course, have a tendency to raise their hands in the air. Of course, if you direct the base of the palm backward, this is going to be prevented, okay? So now we have two movements going back. We have the ribs 8 that have to go back, and we have the base of the palm that we want to go back. Let's take time to add an intention of movement forward with the tip of the right elbow. Yes? So as much as you get the ribs 8 backward away from the wall, I want you to pull the tip of the elbow forward. Do you understand the instructions?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry?
3 instructions.
Yes, 3 instructions. Yes, exact. So when you're ready, I want you to count to 3 and perform the readjustment of the whole structure.
1, 2, 3.
Oh dear, there was no movement of the ruler involved in the 3. Could you set the ruler on the side? I don't want people to be confused that no, on the side. Oh, no, sorry, not keep it in your hand, but do not make any attempt or any display of wanting to control something. I want to make it very clear that conscious guidance will need conscious control, but as a separate procedure. There is a procedure of conscious guidance that you're doing when you're projecting movements according to instructions. And there is another procedure that we are going to do later, and we call conscious control, and that will involve moving the ruler to the 8th rib. Yes? Please. Once again, just give me a 3. I pull the rib 8 away from the wall. I pull the base of the palm back. I pull the tip of the elbow forward to the rib 8 line. When you're ready.
The tip of the left elbow or the right elbow?
It's the left elbow that is facing the camera. So yes, the left elbow, please.
1, 2, 3.
Yes. So now something has happened. Yes. And I want to know if your thumb is directed inward. No, it's not. Okay. Could you please direct the tip of the elbow outward and direct the tip of the thumb inward? Yes. That's it. It has to. And okay. What do you think? When you pull the ribs 8 backward, should, in fact, the thumb go forward or back?
It should go, I should have been directing it back.
No, but it's not, it's just a question. There is a very strong possibility is that you don't have the means to answer the question. You can say, I don't know. Yes? Okay? Yeah. Because it depends on what we want to achieve. So you may not have the answer. But I will tell you what we are interested in. At the moment, when you're performing the actions, there is something that appears, is that yes, you're trying to have the base of the palm go back, but when you try to have the base of the palm go back, in fact, it's not exactly what you're doing. Exactly, you're going back with the palm. When you're going back with the palm instead of the base of the palm, your hand flex, your wrist flexes, yes? So that now the base of the palm is further back, the palm and the fingers are further back than the palm. I'm interested in a different thing. I would like an extension where you really direct the base of the palm back so that it goes faster than the fingers. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes? I want to see if that is going to make a change. I want you to readjust again. Give me a 3, pulling the ribs 8 away from the wall, pulling the tip of the elbows in the opposite direction forward, with the base of the palm going back faster than the fingers.
1, 2, 3.
Yes? Do you think that the distance between the rib 8 and the wall has increased? During your 3?
I don't know.
Well, it has not. So maybe there are 2 possibilities. Is it because you think that you are at the correct distance? Far enough so that the ruler can fit?
No, I just.
Okay. Oh, yes, you concentrated on the movement of the fingers and wrist. Okay, that is absolutely normal. The more instruction I'm going to give you, the more the possibility of you forgetting one or another will come in. Okay, so let's pause a second and come back to the idea. The first idea was to, in fact, change the geometry of the torso. So we want to change the geometry of the torso relatively to your point of contact with the floor, relatively to the front of the ankle. So the intention is really to get the rib 8 away from the wall. And I think it's necessary to go further back because it's still protruding forward. Yes? While you're doing that, in order to not to fall, we want the upper torso to go forward. Because when the base of the palm goes back faster than the fingers and the tip of the elbow go forward, well, the only possibility is for the upper torso to move relatively to the middle torso. Otherwise, your arm is still inclined forward at the extremity. Do you understand the instructions?
Yeah.
Yes. Please give me a 3.
1, 2, 3.
Yes. So, did you move away from the wall?
My rib, yes.
Okay. I have the impression that it's not enough. Did you have the impression to move back with the wrist faster than with the fingers?
That was the plan, yes.
Well, no, but I want you to look at your hand. You look at your left hand.
Yeah.
Is the wrist further back than the fingers?
No.
No. Could you show us what it would look like if the base of the palm was backward? Yes, it would look like this. And for us watching the picture, we will see a pendular arm. A pendular arm is the expression of rest of the muscle of the shoulder. I am certain you're not feeling rest in your shoulder at all at the moment. Is that correct?
Respect,
Yeah, that's the idea of faulty sensory appreciation for our friend Delsart. Yes? So your arm is vertical. I want you to use the ruler in your right hand to check whether and control whether the distance between the rib 8 and the wall is in fact the same as the distance between the instep and the wall. It's not.
Too close.
Well, it's closer, but it's not.
It's not the same.
Yeah. So could you give us a 3? So keep the base of the palm going faster back than the fingers. Keep the tip of the elbow going forward. Remember, this is only possible if the upper torso moves forward relative to the middle torso. It's not a problem of the palm or the elbow. It's the problem of the upper torso. When you're ready, give me a 3. You're going to feel as if you're too far back. Yes, your habit is to be very far forward of your instep when you stand. So you are going to have the impression of going very, very far back as if you wanted to lift the foot off the floor at the front. Allow that, yes? Allow to feel there is a movement backward, but you are creating a strong movement forward with the upper torso. Give me a 3.
1, 2, 3.
Yes, okay. Do you think you could lift the feet, the front of the foot off the floor?
I think I could, yes.
You could, yes. If you were doing so, don't you think that the rib 8 would go further back than they are at the moment? Give me a 3, have a test. Have a 3 with the same instructions as before. Don't take the head back. Don't take the upper torso back. Keep the elbow forward. So the idea is to make an equilibrium on the heels. No contact between the front of the foot and the floor.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, yes, I saw your ribs. So now the difficult thing is to let the feet go back to the floor. Oh, you fell. Yeah, well, you fell backward. There was not enough forward, yes? We want forward from the upper torso and the elbows, okay? I want you to go up on the toe, on the heels. And now let the feet go back without the ribs going forward. Let the feet go. It's difficult. Okay, you need to sit down a minute and you need to have a walk. Have a walk first and go sit down. We need to make sure that the instep are at a correct distance from the wall. In fact, you will find that to bring the ribs back, well, you need to, in fact, play with your own equilibrium. Your standard of judgment of equilibrium is challenged here. Okay, could you stand? Okay. I want you to sit down again, please. Okay. This time, could you set the left arm alongside the body? Okay. Alongside. And you have the idea that the base of the palm is going to be further back than your fingers. We are going to start the gesture with a preconceived idea. So could you extend the fingers forward, off? Yes, that's it. Okay, we have this idea. And this time we see, of course, that the arm is nearly vertical. There is something about the extension that connects with even the shoulder and the upper torso. So when I'm going to say to you, stand up, please, you're going to tell yourself, wait a second, he's trying to trick me once more. This time you're going to tell yourself, in order to stand, I am going to move the elbow forward, of course, faster than the base of the palm. Do you think that is possible?
Yes.
It's as if you're slowing down with the base of the palm and you're accelerating with the tip of the elbow and the fingers. Yes? Okay. And so you're going to think, okay, would it be possible to keep my rib line not forward of the elbow, but backward relatively to the elbow? Yes? Not now, when you're going to stand. So when you're ready now, do you understand the new instructions of movement for standing?
Yes.
So in order to keep the rib line behind the tip of the elbow, you need, of course, to pull the rib line backward, yes? While you're going forward with the fingers and the tip of the elbow. Okay? When you're ready, I want you to stand. Yes. Yes. And now I want you to check the distance between the rib 8 and the wall. You're slightly further back, but still it's not enough. Yes? Okay? I want you to understand that Alexander says that this gesture starts at the ankle. Yes, we are asking you to move the rib 8 away from the wall, but you have to understand that the movement starts at the ankle. For the camera, you're seen as being leaning forward. All your weight is on the front of the foot. Well, it happens that the bones of the legs are transmitting the weight of the torso to the ankle, which is at the back of the foot. Yes? We want you to change that. We want the thumb that is touching the front of the thigh to go backward with the rib 8 so that the movement starts at the ankle. Yes? At the same time, you're going to think, okay, I want the base of the palm to move backward faster, of course, than the fingers. I want the tip of the elbow to stay as far forward as I can so that the upper torso will be brought forward and balance the momentum back by a direction forward. When you're ready, I want you to set the ruler distance between the ribs and the wall, well, by a movement of the torso in space.
One, two, three.
Yes. So now you will understand what Alexander meant. Paradoxical as it may seem, the only chance of success of the pupil is to do what is wrong. Yes? Could you measure the distance between the rib 8 and the wall, please? It's still not enough. Oh, near, near.
Almost.
Almost. Yes? Well, once more, please. Take the ruler off and give me a 3. You want to arch back. You're not going to feel that you're standing straight. You're going to feel that you're hunched.
1, 2, 3.
Did the thigh go back in space?
I don't know.
It did not. Yeah? Could you please give me another 3? So your base of the palm has to go back. Yes? It's going to push the thumb. Yes, that's it. Fantastic. Could you measure, please, now? Gently.
Yes.
Yes, we've got it. Okay. I want to show you something. It's not enough in the sense that if I want you to measure the top of the sternum, you know, the spot we call the throat, that is the very top of the sternum, and you will find that you're too far from the wall.
Yes.
Yes, it means that while the ribs 8 were going back, the upper torso was moving back with it. Next time, we will want to change that so that you can coordinate the movement of the rib 8 with the movement of the base of the palm, because your base of the palm has not gone back. Your habit of holding the arm, your habit of stiffening the shoulder and neck is still there. Yes. So could you push the base of the, now do a push the base of the palm back and the thigh with it. Until the arm is vertical. Yes, yes, yes. Until the arm is vertical. I'm sure the throat is touching now. Isn't it?
It's closer, but no.
Oh no! Oh yeah! I wanted your thumb to be pointed inward so that it could not, the hand could not move back without the thigh. Bring the hand forward so that the thumb is in front of the thigh. Come on, in front of it. In front of it. Yes, that's it. Now push the base of the palm so that the thumb pushes the thigh backward. Okay, move back, move back. We want the arm to be vertical. We want the arm, yes, we want the arm to be vertical. The upper arm has to go forward and the base of the palm has to go back. That's it. Oh, I'm sure you're touching now.
Yes.
Yes. And so this looks horrendous. The viewers are going to think, but what? What is this? This is torture. Yes. The elementary, the system of education is to learn to do what feels wrong, is to learn to be guided and to create a reasoned guidance that has nothing to do with what we feel. So at first, when we start to change the orientation of the torso in space relatively to the support, it feels horrendous. But there is a good thing about this, is that it doesn't last. Well, it's a good thing, and at the same time, it's a problem, because as soon as you get used to the new shape, the new orientation of the torso in place, it feels absolutely natural. Its sensory appreciation is not better, really. It still gets its hold on our understanding. Yes? Okay, you've done a great job. I thank you. You can have a walk. And you're still smiling. It's fantastic. So this is the start of this idea of conscious guidance as this capacity we have to command series of movements. We are only interested in coordinations of movements. And as a result of coordinations of movements, we see new gestures. And of course, the result of gesture is what people call postures, as if a posture was something fixed. Of course, in the way we work, the coordination is a coordination of movements. So there is nothing fixed in this. But as a result of these little experiment, you will find when you watch the video that you're not exactly sitting in the same way. Could you stop putting the hands on your thighs? Yes, that's it. And you will find that your arms are looking much more vertical than they were before, without you trying to release the shoulder or the neck or anything. Yes, when we say let the neck be free, it's well, of course, an instruction of inhibition. We should not try and let the neck be free. We should not try and let the shoulder free. You should find the means whereby they are going to be free as a result of the new organization of the mechanism of the torso and the passive elastic mechanism that are inside. This is the idea. Yes? Could you please remember how to stand? You stand direct forward with the fingers, direct back with the base of the palm, and direct forward with the tip of the elbow so that the ribs can stay backward relative to the elbows. When you're ready, I want you to stand.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, simple. See, we in fact command movements. We command movements. So at first it looks very stiff, very difficult, very hard, but you will find very quickly that it gives you enormous possibilities of experiment. Yes? Thank you very much, Kevin. For a first lesson in public, I find you were fantastic. You will tell people how it felt, but another time.